Hey guys, my name's Adam if this is your first time here, and I'm trying out a new lighting setup, and I don't think I'm going to keep it because it's making my face look like red with like highlights on my cheeks and my nose, and it doesn't look like it's working, but my light is right here. And since it's Veda, we're going to keep it for today, but tomorrow we're probably going to have to try something else. With that said, today's subject is guilty pleasures. Your guilty pleasure, and for me... Okay, so a guilty pleasure is basically something that you know you should be ashamed of, but you like anyway. And I feel like today we have sort of a more like hipster. It's not like I don't want to call it hipster because everybody calls everything hipster, but it's like a society where people tend to say, I don't really give a fuck what everybody else thinks. I like it, and that's what's important. And I think that's healthy too, and that's an attitude that I certainly have. So there's a lot of things that most people would sort of make fun of you for being, a fan of, but I like it anyway. But there are two that I'm going to go with as guilty pleasures that I probably shouldn't admit to very much. The first one is 80s music, specifically 80s pop music. And I can't quite tell you why. It's not really a choice, but whenever I hear an 80s song at the mall or in a movie, it just gets stuck in my head, and I go home and I listen to it for like a week or two straight. I don't know why that is. I find that 80s music, especially pop music, there's more of like a jingle to it. They really tried to sort of turn it into like a jingle, and they're more like an earworm. At least for me. I mean, that's why it gets stuck in my head. Let me ask you guys that. Do you find when you hear an 80s song that it gets kind of stuck in your head a little bit more than most songs, or is that just me? And there's also, I did want to say that, like, the reason that it's sort of a guilty pleasure is, even though it was widely accepted in the 80s, for whatever reason in the 90s when there was the grunge movement, there was like this cathartic, there was this moment where, like, anything from the 80s was just flushed out of society and we just rejected it all. And maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe I'm not saying we should go full 80s, but the fact that you'll never hear a saxophone solo in a song is a little bit strange. And the fact that you'll never hear someone shred on a guitar like Slash in Guns N' Roses used to, that is considered 80s and not welcome in music today is a little bit... I don't know if that's a good thing, is all I'm saying. And I'm not saying we should go full 80s. I'm not saying we need people in neon and hairbands or whatever and puffy moosed up hair. But yeah, I'm just saying maybe a little bit of it wouldn't be terrible, but maybe I'm alone on that. The other thing that I consider a guilty pleasure is Saved by the Bell. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, whenever I watch that fucking show, it just sort of brings me back to like being a kid, and there's just no problem. Like, you'll never have an episode where like Zach can't pay his fucking mortgage. It's like Zach scammed Screech out of this secret recipe to cure pimples. However, now it turns everybody's face maroon, kind of like my face probably looks right now with this lighting. But yeah, it's always like Zach has a secret plan to make everybody love him, but now they've turned into lovesick zombies that are attacking him or something. So there's not any real actual problems. You know that that's never going to happen to you, so... yeah, it's sort of takes you to a nicer place. And that, like, I don't watch sitcoms or anything like that, so maybe that's, I don't know, my form of escapism or whatever. But, yeah, I can remember waking up early and watching that show, and even though it's cheesy as fuck, I just enjoy it. Anyway, that's my two guilty pleasures. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys have any guilty pleasures, and if you agree with me that 80s music does tend to get stuck in your head a little bit more than most music out there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day.